Welcome to another edition of Live with Suzi. I'm Suzi Khatami, host of the show and also producer. Happy to be with you all on this edition that we have actually started this series with Mr. Shane Malek, who have kindly started doing this series with us regarding the financial world, especially particularly about the world of retirement, different plans and different suggestions that he has for us. And I must admit that a lot of you have really liked the plan, this show, and I'm happy to say this to Mr. Malek here. Thank you so much for all the information that you're sharing with us and our viewers and our listenerships. And I might add, since this is going to be our part 12, believe it or not, we've been doing 12 series of these episodes and all have been useful. You can go back and visit all our talks and conversation that we've had with Mr. Malek and check it out either on his website, www.fmisinc.com, and also you can visit our social media Live with Suzi. We are everywhere, and check it out also on podcast. And I definitely advise you to do so. You will probably learn a lot about especially the world of retirements, different plans, and why is it even important to have the plans ahead of time so we can sustain a lifestyle that we are mostly accustomed to. On that note, Mr. Shane Malek, a financial consultant, is with us, the president of FMIS Inc., and we're going to learn more from Shane today. Thank you in advance for being with us.
Hi, Suzi. Thank you for having me. What a great intro.
Well, my pleasure. My pleasure. Always
Thank
a
you.
pleasure talking with you, and I'm always excited to learn from you, especially coming to our retirement age and try to plan it ahead so we will be able to kind of maintain the lifestyle most of us are accustomed to, and we don't want to have disappointments along the way. On that note, Mr. Malek, let me ask you this. With the current economic situation that we're all dealing with, what is actually available so that we can still make decent earnings and not much at risk for us? How would you help us in that respect? And then I'll come up with my second question later.
Okay, well, one of the things that I kind of didn't expect to see, but it's really happening, it's the inflation rate. For the last maybe 35 to 40 years, we've been kind of hovering around 2.5%, 3%, 3.25% max of inflation rate. And even, we're pushing it when we're 3%. But now we 4.4% inflation rate, which as a result has hiked up a lot of prices. About there's no particular sector. Everything is almost about anywhere from 5 to 30% gone up. You name it, from lumber to gas to food to milk to whatever.
Everything totally.
has gone up so much. So as a result, what it's done is then obviously put that together with the pandemic and what pandemic caused, and with unemployment being so high and all that. So it created this really uncertain kind of days or times, I'd say, particularly about the market, because you hear now all these rumors about the market might correct itself. You can't keep a higher, that kind of at least here in this country, that kind of an inflation rate. It's really not healthy. What I don't also, I'm not an economist, obviously, but I'm, if you bring that situation to a household of four, you realize that when you're thinking, okay, if I'm having some financial issues, you don't decide to spend more money. You don't decide to increase your expenditure simply because you're going sometime. You do the opposite pretty much. That's not what's going on here, unfortunately. The taxes, I think that it looks like the taxes are going to go up a little bit, both in terms of federal income tax as well as the corporate tax and also the capital gain tax.
Right.
The state, it's already in the state of California. It's pretty high already. I don't know exactly what might be the case in the state, but you have also capital gain tax with that, where you have corporate tax. All of these things look like they're going to go up a little bit. I don't exactly know what the details will be there. I mean, there are rumors, the talks, and numbers, and all that, but I don't know when, and I don't know how much. However, so when that happens, there's always a good chance the market could correct itself. One is because of all of the things we talked about, and two also is because historically, markets has always corrected itself every so many years, 7 years, 10 years. And we're long overdue. So having all said that, so you're always leery about what to put your money in without having so much risk factor. And obviously, it is very difficult. I mean, basically what the correction of the market means, if it does happen, if it repeats itself like in 2008 and even in 2000, you could lose 40, 50, 60% of your asset. And that's going to be very difficult. A lot of people, putting most of their livelihood for retirement is riding on a 401ks, and all of these 401ks are on the stock market here. So you can't risk all that. So what I suggest is, for those of you that are involved with the 401ks and you're contributing your maximum, which you should be, by the way, but you can diversify it. There are times that you should be smart and kind of have half of it at least in the stock markets and the other half of it maybe invested in other things. What those other things, there are tons of things you can do much safer, let's say. You can, there are a whole bunch of annuities you can put your money in. You can put your money possibly in some bonds. You can, the money market funds and stuff like that. But, so that if one goes, south, as they say, you would have something else that might make more money for you that way.
In other words, we don't put all our eggs in one basket.
Exactly. Especially in this rough times now. In fact, it's funny, I was talking to some clients last week, and on the same issue, there are some, I mentioned the word annuities, there are some annuities actually, to my surprise, because all of these things have changed tremendously from 4 or 5 years ago, let alone 10, 15, 20 years ago. These are like investment vehicles now. They're not like what they used to be, with certain limitations, restrictions as to how you can utilize them, withdraw them, spend them. Those kind of things were always the difficult factors in putting money in certain annuities. Those all have changed now. Now you can have these allocated to, any index, in some cases even some mutual funds that really have some high earnings. The beauty of that is that when you're having those kind of accounts, if the market, for whatever reason, went really bad on you and you had, a negative market for a period of time, those things will not ever lose values. So basically, the principal is always guaranteed. Yes, you may not earn in those scenarios any interest rate for those years that be negative. However, the principal itself, with what you already earned on that money, is always safe. So, depending on how aggressive you are in your investments, but I would always suggest that we should have other things that you can kind of balance it out. If one doesn't work, then you have something else to go to, and you don't want to sort of give up your retirement, particularly in the later days of your life, when you're approaching retirement, what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So those are the important factors. I think one should, I think everyone should have a review annually.
I was just going to say that from what you are just talking about, I think it would be best to review it. I mean, some of us have already plans, retirement plans, pension plans, but we shouldn't just let it go. We should always review it, make sure they're up to date, correct? Absolutely. And the ones that they don't have, well, maybe it's time that they should think about it.
Yes, and for very quickly for about 20 seconds, I want to say a few things about Social Security.
Please.
One thing that your listeners should know, I'm sure everyone knows, as Social Security. Those of you that have contributed to your Social Security, there are a lot of self-employed people have not done as much. Towards Social Security. So anyways, what you do is if you do have the Social Security, even at best, it has not been kept up with the inflation rate. This last, 85 or 6 years that this Social Security been around, it's really not been brought up with all the updating that everything else has been kept up with. So therefore, I don't know what one might get, but whatever that you're getting is really not sufficient anymore. So you either have to have something else, a pension from where you work or something, or your own savings should be something that you supplement your Social Security with. So it should not be your main source of income in retirement. I'll tell you that much.
It doesn't seem to be sufficient, basically, and far from it.
Very far from it.
From what I heard a few years ago, and made me panic, thinking, "Oh, okay, oops! I thought I gave the money, so when I get to the retired age, I can rely on it." But then soon I realized I was definitely wrong, and it's far from it. It may be a little supplement, but it's not enough to definitely make sure that you can sustain or maintain the lifestyle you have. Far from it. But I'm so happy that you brought that up. That's also very, very important point. As always, Mr. Malek, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you talking to us and informing us what to do, what not to do, especially nowadays after the pandemic with the inflation and everything we hear. It's best to review it if you have it. If you don't have it, you definitely want to contact Mr. Shane Malek. Absolutely. Your toll-free number, once again, 1-800-477-1556, and or you can check out the website, www.FMISINC.com. So wonderful talking with you once again. And before we say goodbye to you, it is Father's Day.
Yeah, I was going to say, I want to wish every father out there the best today. Go out and have fun, enjoy it with your family, and have the best. Happy Father's Day, everyone.
Thank you so much for your talk again with us, Mr. Malek. Until we speak to you in a couple of weeks, we wish you all the very best. And I'd like to also wish all the fathers out there a very happy Father's Day. Have a fun time. And I'm going to put a nice music video, one of my favorite singers, Polanka.
Oh, wow.
The song Papa. I'm sure a lot of you have good memories with it. So on that note, we say bye to you and thanks a million, Mr. Malek.
Thank you. All the best. Thank you.
You too. God bless you too.
Bye-bye.
Every day my papa would work to try to make ends meet, to see that we would eat, keep those shoes upon my feet. Every night my papa would take me, tuck me in my bed, kiss me on my head after all my prayers were said. There were years of sadness and of tears. Through it all, together we were strong, we were strong. The times were rough, but Papa, he was tough. And Mama, she stood beside him all along. Growing up with them was easy, time just flew on by. The years began to fly, they aged, but so did I.